Apparently, I thought that was just how it is, that they use their own Google Space, but somebody told me it's not the case. And I promise you, we pay our bills.
And if I'm a contractor, I now no longer have the option to delete it.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's great. This is what you want, because you want customers to be able to upload stuff, but not move it, delete it, or do anything else. Hello, we have something special and different for you today. I have a live consultation that I'm going to be holding with a friend and colleague of mine. And I'm going to be taking him through some administration of Google Workspace right here live on the channel. If you want to see us live build out some shared drives, which is what we're going to be focusing on today, and anything else that happens to come up on the call, well, stick around and you can see how things progress. So I'm going to open up to my guest here. We've got Milan.
Hello.
Welcome, Milan. How you doing?
Good. Thanks for having me.
Wonderful. And your business is PlayStack. You're actually in the YouTube industry, which is pretty cool. And obviously, we're doing a little bit of business together, which is great. We work with you and the team, but you help other founders and you help other people who are already on YouTube. Tell me a bit about what's a typical customer for you and who are the kind of people that you help?
Yeah, so our main goal is to help businesses grow on YouTube and use that as either like an authority builder, lead generator, or anything basically. We work with a lot of personal brands. We work with like SaaS tools. We help with you guys, for example, like just on a consulting basis, just to like optimize, come up with ideas, ways to look at content and stuff like that. So yeah, ideal is people that want to use YouTube as a marketing tool basically.
Awesome. Rock and roll. Well, thank you and welcome. So tell me about the agenda today. What are we working on?
The agenda is to get shared Google Drives in the sense that like we work with a lot of footage, right? And part of what we do is like we send a script to the client films it and then send us the footage. But I want them to upload it to our Google Drive without having them to like use their own Google Space. Apparently, I thought that was just how it is, that they use their own Google Space, but somebody told me it's not the case. And so today I want to figure out like, because we are on Google Workspace and we have like about 8 terabytes available, I believe. And so I just want them to be able to upload to Google Drive and then make it easy for them basically.
Awesome. Cool. Yeah. So the key issue that we're dealing with here is most people just share folders from OneDrive. The problem with sharing a folder from OneDrive is you might own the folder, but you don't own the files necessarily. If someone else puts files in there, they own the files. And in some ways that's kind of okay. Like if you've got, an external client and it's their files that they're putting in, that's okay. But if you've got any chance that client might accidentally run out of space themselves, or they might delete something. If you want to, control the process and make sure that you've always got a copy, it's probably a better idea that you are the owner of the file. And of course, like if often what happens in creative businesses is a client will call you like 2 years later and they're like, hey, that thing you did for us, can you resend us a copy, or can you make a different cut of this video that we did or this project? And if you go into, your My Drive and the files disappeared, then in Australia, we say you're up shit creek. So we're going to fix that. We're going to fix that with shared drives. Shared drives means that the company owns a shared drive, and when someone puts a file into the shared drive, then the company owns the file, and that fixes that. So, all right, rock and roll. Well, we're going to do that now. So I'm going to hit share screen. You can check out what Milan and his team do at playstack.co. I've got that in the description of the video, and let's go ahead and get started. So. What we prepared earlier, the only thing we've done is Milan created an admin for me so I can access the admin panel, and then also, and I've signed in as an admin. But apart from that, we're starting from absolute scratch. So maybe tell me a little bit about how your drives are structured at the moment, and maybe you can even share your screen. Maybe let's show us what you've got right now, and then we'll work through what we're going to do.
Yep, let me find it now. So we actually originally use OneDrive. So I'm going to share. Cool. The problem is it's super cheap, which is not a problem. But the problem is that it uploads and downloads very slowly.
Yeah.
And like we're talking about like a megabyte per second, which is really annoying if you have like 10, 20 gigabytes worth of footage to go. So we also use it as a backup folder. So finished videos go here, and then we have our progress videos here, which is then according to the client itself. Let me see here. So we also have all their assets, like their guidelines and stuff. So everything goes in here. So the scripts, the raw footage. And so they need to upload their guidelines and whatever assets we need, their thumbnail pictures for us to be able to create. But then this is probably the folder we use the most, where they upload all the footage that's needed accordingly each time. And so that's per client that way. We deliver through frame.io. So we don't deliver within Google Drive, but they will end up on Google Drive eventually.
So,
and as you can see,
yeah. So what I'm seeing here is you want to probably have like one simple Dropbox that the clients can just put raw footage in, so they don't have to think. They just put it in one place. Your team would probably be responsible for then like organizing the work in progress.
That's done differently. That's in frame.io and then shared on Slack. But they would need access to this whole folder because they might add like new thumbnail pictures or new design assets or whatever that is.
And this would be the same if someone was like an accounting firm or whatever. You would have like one folder per client usually, or like one folder per project. If you're construction company, you're building houses or building buildings, and these typically will map to one shared drive per client or one shared drive per project as well. Okay, cool. So that makes sense. So we need a Dropbox for customers to drop stuff into. The structure of things we can potentially have a bit of a look at. I've got some ideas for you there. Before we get into it, I'd like to know, did you finish the migration from OneDrive? Did you finish bringing over all the data?
I think we're co-using it right now. So old stuff is still on there, but actively we're using mainly this, and then probably use OneDrive as a backup currently, rather than, although for maybe one or two clients, we're still using OneDrive. But if you have an easy way to migrate that stuff over instead of downloading and uploading, that would be also life-changing.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Well, we definitely have that. And that's actually included. We could probably include that in your concierge. If you were a new customer, we would charge you to do like a migration. But since you're already a concierge customer, what we'll do is a cloud-to-cloud migration. There's a couple of ways of doing that. Yeah. And for those listening at home as well, if you want, you can just get like a cloud server with Amazon or Google Cloud or something like that, and then you sign in online and you just move the files, right? Rather than having to do it from your home internet connection. It's typically slightly faster to do it from a data center because internet service providers will slow you down, or your computer's slow, or your computer's not on all the time, yada yada. The other option is our team do have some automated tools which will do it in the background using the APIs, and that's usually faster as well. Sometimes it's still slow. There are still limits, but that works a lot better. One thing that you did mention, and this is a good point to make, is that Google Drive is much faster than OneDrive. I didn't realize there was a limit on 1 megabyte per second. But if that's the case, that would only be 8 megabit per second. I mean, I'm surprised it's that low. I mean, I would expect it should perform better. But what I do at least know is that Google Drive is super, super zippy. I've been able to upload and download at like 600 megabit, nearly a gigabit per second, and you're only really limited by there's a 24-hour like rolling threshold, which is I think 500 gig, which I only hit if I'm doing like big movie downloads or uploads. I don't mean private movies. I'm not working on movies, like private movies, but that's the only time that I'll typically hit that threshold. So it should perform pretty brilliantly. I'm assuming you've got gigabit or really decent fiber being in Ho Chi Minh City?
I got around 300-400 a second.
Great. Perfect. Cool. See, so you should be able to slam Google Drive as much as you want. So where are we going to start? Let's start setting. I'm going to direct you, and then I'm going to jump in as needed, because I find it better to teach by showing you and directing you, because then you'll have an embodied experience of doing it again yourself. So let's go into your shared drives.
Empty.
Wow. Okay. Great. Awesome. All right. Cool. And I assume you haven't set up any security groups either. You haven't watched any of our videos on shared drives?
No.
No. Okay. Great. Cool. All right. So we're gonna start with your team drives. We'll start with your company drives, and then we'll come back and we'll do the client files. So the first thing is let's go to the admin panel. Let's set up a couple of groups. So we go to directory and then groups, and we'll set up a couple of groups. Now, how big is your team? It's you and 4.
Well, officially there's only 3 users, but unofficially there's a lot of people using this one.
All right, that's cool. So what we'll do is you probably just got then like business owners or executive, and then like rest of the team, right?
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, cool. And would you want to distinguish between rest of the team and contractors, or are they just one?
Yeah, contractors use their personal emails. So
Okay, cool. All right. Okay,
they don't have access to this one for sure.
Okay, cool. We may still set up a separate group for contractors, because that will become useful. Okay, so let's create a group, and we'll call it like executive. So it should be in the middle. Create group.
Create group.
Yeah, great. So call that executive.
And what do we call it?
Exec or owners, or this is for you and Mike.
Yeah. Damn, how do I call them usually? Management.
Management. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Cool. And then the email doesn't really matter, because we're not going to expose this to the world, but it helps just to make it easy if it's the same name. So if you just call that management. Great. Okay, cool. And scroll down. Yep. And then click the security box. And then next. Great. Okay. So what I usually do here is I click onto restricted. And that just changes and hides most of the settings. But I like to remove, see who can contact group owners. I like to remove external. So there's no ability for anyone. So if you tick on, see the box under external on that row, there we go. Yeah, great. And then I typically click yes on who can view members' entire organization.
Who can view this
cool.
one?
Okay. So what that means is, if you use this group for like because you can use this in many places across Workspace. You can use it for Google Drive. You can use it for a calendar invite. You can use it for a chat room. But it helps if you've invited this group to a meeting, for example. It helps if everyone can see who's in the group and who's been invited. If you don't tick that box, then other people can't see, right? Cool. So that's my kind of like standard setup for an internal security group. I click restricted, I remove the external access, and then I add and then we're going to do this 3 times so you'll get used to it. So
yeah, turn custom though.
It turns it into custom. Yeah. So restricted is like the starter template, and then we tick those 2 boxes. Okay. And I usually tick only invited users. So who can join the group? Only invited users down the bottom, and allow people outside your organization. We're going to leave that off, but we are going to use that for the contractors group. So create that group. Now, a weird thing happens. You create the group. Now add members. So add yourself. Oh, settings weren't saved because an error occurred. I've never seen that before. I've never seen that before.
My luck.
Is that because we didn't set you? Maybe because we didn't set you as an owner. Click on the settings again. Yeah. So just click exactly where you are. Yeah. Just click right in the middle. Yep. And that should open up the settings. Just click there. Yeah. There you go. Okay. Oh, click who can view members. Tick that box. Yeah. All right. Okay. Scroll down.
Save.
Yeah. Save. Maybe it's because we didn't set you up as an owner. Maybe because it's empty. Okay. That appeared to work. That could have been a bug. I've never seen that. Okay. So add members on the left-hand side. Add members and add yourself and anyone else who's like management, but usually it's business owners, right? A small business. Yeah. Okay. Add to group. Cool. Okay. So now anywhere in the Google ecosystem, or pretty much anywhere in the Google ecosystem, you can invite management at PlayStack.co to a meeting, and you get both of you guys in there, or a meeting or a drive or whatever. Cool. All right. So let's go to our Google Drive now, and we'll create our shared drive. We'll come back and do the rest of the groups in a second. Create a shared drive. Cool. Call it management. Create. And then we are going to manage members up the top right-hand corner. Cool. And you're going to add, you're going to add management.
Like this?
Yep, that's the one. Perfect. Yep. And then you're going to make the permission manager. Yeah, which is the top level permission. Send. Great. And then what I usually do is I actually go back and I remove myself. But you're using team at PlayStack at the moment. This is the admin, is it?
Yeah, this is like the more people use this one. This is our general one, let's say.
Okay. That's definitely a concern, because this one appears to be the super administrator.
Could be.
Okay. Well, if this one works in the admin panel, then this one's the super admin. Okay, so I won't slap your wrist too hard on this one, but we will. Hold on, let me write that down. Admin.
I use the ignorance of most people on Google Drive in our advantage.
Yeah, that's totally fine. So, It's not ideal. You can have accounts that multiple people share, but ideally with the correct permissions set up, you shouldn't need to. But number two, we definitely don't want people to be using the shared account if it's got admin access. So that we'll loop back to that. I've got that on my list of things to.
So I can change that to my own one and then leave this as a.
Correct. Yeah, we would make you, and I mean, it would be best practice to have a separate account just for admin that you only sign into when you need to do admin stuff. But if you're like 5 people, that's fine.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on future content. Part 2 is in the description below. See you in the next one.